shoulders and arms and limbs, right? And here's what it involves. What I'm going to do, and if you guys need to come closer, feel free to come closer. There's a series of bones that run from her rib cage all the way to her fingertips, right?
A series of what?
Bones.
Oh, bones.
It's a series of highway bones, right? So what I'm going to do with Kathy is I'm going to get ready. Get my hands nice and warm. I'm going to find her hands. I'm going to find her fingers. And I'm going to get on just the last knuckles of her fingers, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently invite her fingers to come this way, right? Does that feel all right? So, what Kathy's going to do is she feels me gently moving this way, and she's going to feel energy from here traveling all the way in the opposite direction, right? So, she's going to allow her fingers to slowly open up. Right, so I'm gently drawing out, and she's letting the energy come back. So she's feeling a differentiation where her fingers, this knuckle joins her fingers.
There, you're open up in what way?
Can somebody grab my foot?
Which way?
So while she's allowing you to do this, she is totally.
I would applaud you, somebody would applaud you. I thought it might be fun. I thought about the connection there.
Gotta give it a name.
So as I elongate in this direction, these outer toes, the feeling is that you guys are going to have is that energy is going in two directions from this joint. We're going to spend, 30 seconds there, and then we'll go to this joint. Right? And again, as I draw energy this way, so I'm going to go to the next joint now. The thumb is a little tricky.
So while she's letting go, she's just watching.
She's feeling me drawing this way, and she's
Yeah.
allowing the energy to return back to her.
By
So she's
her
not
breath.
doing anything.
She doesn't do anything, it's just happening to her.
Okay.
She's receiving the action. She's just letting the energy come back, right?
Letting it happen.
So she's feeling a differentiation there. And then I come to where her fingers join the palms of her hands. And again, very gently, I release, and she's just going the other way. Does that feel okay? I'm gonna start all over again on her. All right? And then I'm gonna go right to the
The carpals?
base of her hands, yeah.
So are you actually then now taking the carpals and trying
I'm
to
just taking
separate them as
basically
well?
all of her hand is releasing in one direction. Her wrist bones are actually releasing in the other direction. Right? So now I'm where her hand and her wrist separate.
Do you have to be careful doing this with someone who has loose ligaments?
I'm not pulling at all.
Not at all.
I'm not doing this. I'm
No.
I'm giving her a very, very gentle support.
Okay.
Look at the color of his nails.
It's very, very gentle support. Right? It's a very minor intervention. It's very subtle. I'm not creating traction on her joints. I'm not trying to yank her. That would be unpleasant. But the feeling is just enough feeling that energy can move in two directions, right? And then from the wrists, what I can do is then it's a little trickier. I go up onto the wrist bones. I'm just above the palm of the hand. I'm creating a little bit of space. It's very hard to see because there are two layers of wrist bones. It's very hard for me to get them all.
So you're actually holding the bone with the
Right
thumbs
between,
and
yeah.
index fingers.
Yeah, just we can get a very gentle
Kathy,
feel.
it feels real gentle.
Very gentle. Just very, it's very subtle feeling, right? The next part is a little trickier, and I might as well show you that, and then I'll talk you through that. Is that the radius bone, right, which is on the thumb side, and the ulnar, I'm going to take in different directions. So the first one, I'm going to take the radius bone down. So it's just the radius is going this way. Right? And if I get it right, I can even get the ulnar bone going the other way. Does that feel all right? So she's really receiving the ulnar bone going back as the radius bone comes down. Most of us don't work the forearms that way. We'll get into that in dog pose tomorrow. Ulnar goes to the little finger side. Radius goes to the thumb side.
Radius comes down.
Ulnar's going up. Same as the tibia and the fibula. Same principle. Fibula is a weight-bearing, not a weight-bearing bone. Ulnar is not a weight-bearing bone.
So you're keeping the mild pull
On the radius, right? And then both. And now the humerus bone. So now she's differentiating the radius of the ulna from the humerus bone. That's great.
I would have to ask, why are you doing the ulna in the opposite direction?
Feel it.
Always wanted
Feel it.
why.
It's very analogous to the tibia and the fibula. The fundamental energy channel in the radius is down,
Right.
because this is a stronger bone. The fundamental energy, this is up, because it wants to stabilize the elbow joint. If I go down the ulnar and up the radius, I end up in a dog pose that looks like this, which will let people end up with all kinds of elbow problems, wrist problems. So energetically, this is the channel that opens everything. Most of them don't differentiate the forearm and two forearm bones very well. So this is an attempt to actually start to feel that the energy channels in these two bones are a little bit different. The forearm is not quite a blob of tissue that we might think. All right, because you guys ready for this? I'm gonna talk you through it step by step, but we're all gonna have to go at the same time.
Are you gonna
Right, so
do
we're
just
able to finish in
one
time.
arm?
Huh?
Just one side?